at 6 p.m. We have a quorum. Mayor Eugene Bustamante is not here. Everybody else is. At this time, let's stand for a pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, liberty and honor and protect the flag, just leading to thee, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Please bow your head. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this gathering and for the privilege of serving our community. Grant wisdom, integrity, and discernment to our council members as they deliberate tonight. Guide their decisions for the good of all citizens in El Campo. Bless our efforts to promote peace and prosperity. Amen. Okay. First item is a public hearing for Z2026-01, an application by the City of El Campo for a change in zoning from general commercial district to light commercial district on approximately 2.0206 acres of Chandler Block 1 and 2 at multiple addresses 101, 215, 219, 303, and 401 on Palacia Street, El Campo, Texas, 77437. The time is 6:01 for this public hearing to open. We have one speaker that has asked to speak tonight. Mr. Armenta, if you'd like to take the podium, state your name and your address, please.
My name is Osiel Armenta. I live on 215 Palacia Street. And I'm for the change in zoning from C2 to C1. Right now, it's at C2. My house is a 2-bedroom, 1 bath. And as of right now, I can't extend it because it's under commercial. But if it goes to C1, I will be able to extend it because it's only a 2-bedroom and I have 2 young kids. So I would like for it to be extended. And I think it'll benefit everybody, not just me, because there's a lot of land right down that street, and it could bring people to the area to live. And under C2, it's only business. You could only put a business there. Not everybody wants to do that. Everybody wants to live, on that side of town because it connects to 59, and it's a busy highway. So I think it'll benefit everybody. It'll bring in more people to the city, and it'll just benefit everybody in general. So.
Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else like to speak? If no other speakers, the public hearing closes at 6:03. Moving into public comments. At this time, any person with city-related business not scheduled to the agenda may speak to the city council. In compliance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, the city council is limited to making a statement of specific factual information in response to the inquiry or reciting existing policies, but may not discuss, deliberate, or take action on any item. Each speaker will be limited to 3 minutes. The issue may be placed on future agenda for consideration. Anybody like to speak? If none, moving on. Item 6, the consent agenda. First is the approval of the city council regular minutes dated January 12th, 2026. Item number 2 is resolution R 2026-07, accepting certain drainage easements for the Tres Palacios Creek expansion project on property located in El Campo, Texas, and authorizing the city manager to execute all necessary documents to receive such easements, providing for an effective date, track 6, 7, 10, 16, 17, 39, 40, 42, and 43.
Mayor Pro Tem, I make a motion, we adopt the consent agenda.
Second motion.
Motion has been made by Councilman Hodges and seconded by Councilman Koblentz to approve the consent agenda. Is there any discussion? If no discussion, all those in favor, raise your right hand. The agenda is passed unanimously. Moving to item 7.1.
This is ordinance 2026-02, which is the rezoning that the gentleman referenced during the public hearing, and I'll hand it over to our planning director, Crystal Hasselmeyer.
Good evening, you all. In your packet is the application report with the details of this application for rezone. Here are the high-level details for you. This is the portion of Palacios Street that is currently C1, with the remainder of it being, that is currently C2 with the remainder of it being C1. and that is a portion that we're looking to rezone to C1 today. Here are some pictures here with the additional pictures are in your application report. It is showing you that the remainder of the parcels around it are otherwise C1 for light commercial. C2 is on the other side of the railroad track. That relates to your Jackson Street corridor, which is C2. This particular rezone would affect a total of 15 parcels. It's 3 lots are occupied. One is the house, one is a church, and one is a commercial business, which is a food truck. We have one abandoned house, which is a long-term code enforcement case, and 11 or 73% of these lots are currently vacant. 4 of the parcels that are affected by this rezone are part of your Trace Palacios project. Some of those parcels that you adopted for easements tonight, it's part of that project. And so the rezoning would not affect those with regards to what could be developed there because it will be part of that. And then as I mentioned, one of these is a long-term property maintenance case. So there's a house that's boarded up, a person bought it, and we've asked them to repair it, but because it's C2, they have refused to repair it because they can't live in it. And so this rezone would allow us to push that particular property forward with getting that updated. We've had one inquiry from the public since publication on the packet, and there is information in the application report about some of the contacts that we've had. There we go. This is eligible for approval based on your rezoning criteria, and it's also recommended for approval by your Planning and Zoning Commission after their January 14th meeting. Any questions? Yes.
So I've had one constituent that has really asked a lot of questions. I think I understood all of those clearly. And so for the record, here at City Council, I want to ask this question one more time. She has the idea of establishing a business close to the railroad track, and she has been told that her idea and her business, C1, is not going to affect that in the future. Is that correct?
The long-term future. So what's being referenced is the person that owns the old D&D Lounge property. Through code enforcement, we were able to get her to demolish the property, and she has plans to one day eventually put another bar in there. Currently, bars are only allowed in C2, but as you guys are aware, with the comprehensive plan and the UDC revisions that the Planning and Zoning is working through, they're shifting some of those uses and definitions between C1 and C2 and adding a C3, which will be on the highway. And so when they make that adjustment, that bar use will be allowed in a C1 zone on a neighborhood scale, not on a big Jackson Street Highway 71 scale. It'll be scale-based. But there is a period of time between doing this rezone and adopting new UDC revisions to the zoning where she will not be able to put a bar. But she has met with myself and Courtney as well and does understand that it's just once we adopt that new UDC later this summer, it'll go back in. She does not have immediate plans, does not have permits from TABC to do anything, does not have any permit records with us. And so we don't believe that this will affect her long-term plans for that property.
Thank you for that. And that's what I understood, and I just wanted it to be. Thank you.
Questions?
Motion.
If there's no other questions, I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor Pro Tem, I make a motion that we adopt or approve the ordinance 2026-02 as presented.
I'll second that.
Motion has been made by Councilman Koblentz to approve ordinance 2026-02 as presented and seconded by Councilman Wallace. Is there any discussion? There's no discussion. All those in favor say aye. All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Moving on to item 7.2, ordinance 2026-03 is authorizing and calling a general city election for 3 at-large positions on May 2nd, 2026.
And this is just as it appears on the screen. This is the ordinance that calls the election. You're required to do this by state statute. So this year is the at-large election.
Mayor Pro Tem, I make a motion that we approve ordinance 2026-03 as presented.
I'll second.
Motion has been made by Councilman Koblenz to accept ordinance 2026-03 as presented and seconded by Councilman Hodges. Is there any discussion?
I'd like to know if anybody picked up packets.
We have not had any yet. What, we have had one. Kyle Wallace, that's it. I will keep you updated.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? If no discussion, we'll take a vote. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, motion passes unanimously. Item 7.3, ordinance 2026-04, authorizing and calling a special charter amendment election on May 2nd, 2026.
Yeah, same song, second verse. This is the proposed charter amendment. As a reminder, that proposed charter amendment would change charter review from every other year to every 5 years if the voters approve it. This ordinance will authorize that election.
Question. Why every five, can you just kind of go through the thought process as to why we're,
Well, most cities review the charter review with the charter review board every 5 years. That's what we found when we polled. But what we were finding is there were some years when the charter review committee was meeting and there was nothing to review. And so we were doing this exercise of spending time meeting every other year because it was prescribed by charter and things weren't happening. We did a big overhaul of the charter in 2019, and so that's why we felt at this time, and the charter review board agreed that we could do that every 5 years. That's not to say that something couldn't come up between now and then. Of course, council could at any time call a special election and revise the charter, but they felt like 5 years was a good time.
Mayor Pro Tem, I move that we move forward with approval of ordinance 2026-04 as presented.
Second.
motion has been made by Councilman Wallace to approve ordinance 2026-04 as presented, seconded by Councilman Hancock. Is there any discussion? No discussion, we'll take a vote. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, motion passes unanimously. 7.4, Resolution R 2026-04, authorizing extension of official bank depository March 1, 2026 through February 28, 2028.
If approved by council, this will activate the extension that was built into the contract with Prosperity Bank, who is our existing depository services. We have confirmed the terms, and staff recommends extending that agreement for 2 more years.
Mayor Pro Tem, I make a motion, we approve resolution 2026-04 as presented.
Second.
A motion by Councilman Hodges to approve Resolution R 2026-04 has been made and seconded by Councilman Koblenz. Is there any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed? Motion is unanimous, accepted. Resolution R 2026-05, authorizing the submission of a grant application in the amount of $23,300 to the Office of the Governor for rifle plates and carriers for fiscal year 2027, and authorizing the city manager to execute all subsequent related documents.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Pro Tem, we have what we're saying rifle plates. It's a special plate that goes in the vest that upgrades their abilities and will prevent rifle rounds from penetrating. We have some. They're an older model. They're still in use. However, the problem we've had with them for several years is that they're difficult. Usually, if we have a situation, the officers will then put the rifle on there, but it also blocks sometimes our body-worn cameras. These are a newer type. They're lighter. They're just as effective, and they can go in underneath our cameras, so we don't have any blocking to the cameras. And we have opportunity here to have a grant pay for it. This is a no-match grant, so this would be able to have all our officers in the field have this upgraded rifle plates.
Is that is it mandatory they wear those?
Yes.
Good.
So my understanding is that this is actually an application for a grant, that the city is not matching any monies, right?
It's no match.
Okay, thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem, I move that we move forward with approval of a resolution R 2026-05 as presented.
Second.
I've got a motion made by Councilman Wallace to approve R 2026-05 as presented and seconded by Councilman Hancock. Is there any other further discussion? No discussion, we'll vote. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries unanimously. Item 7.6, Resolution R 2026-06, authorizing the submission of a grant application in the amount of $143,000 to the Office of Governor for Records Management System, computer-aided dispatch for fiscal year 2027, and authorizing the city manager to execute all subsequent related documents.
Yes, sir. Again, this is one that you've probably heard me talk about before. Our current system that manages all of our police records and also helps our dispatch, which also impacts the fire and EMS, is over 20 years old. And it's antiquated, and we're looking to upgrade it. We have a pretty good opportunity here, I think. We're looking at going with it's called Crimes, and it's based out of Sam Houston. They developed it. It's used by quite a few agencies. We've done a study on this, and we've had input from fire and EMS, and they're comfortable with this system. The good thing about this one is that when we talk about this overall, it's $123,000, and that's for the system, training, integration, and data conversion. Plus, we had them give us first, second, and third year licensing fees, which is always a big issue. So with this one grant, we wouldn't have even a licensing fee for, till the fourth year after we're on it. Licensing fee generally is going to probably be $30,000 a year, which is, compared to some systems, pretty cheap. Because this is not, the only difference is this one is actually not cloud-based. Most places go cloud-based, and the cost is astronomical on that. We also, in addition, that's $123,000. The total amount's $143,000 because we've built in another server for this, and that server will give us quite a few years. We have a server now that we could put some data on, but this will give us expansion for years to come. And again, this is a no-match grant. So if we get it, it's paid for.
What are the chances of getting it?
That's
You
my
know,
question.
the issue on all of these grants, these are grants that are run through the governor's office and they go through HGAC. And so HGAC, it's hard for me to tell you because years ago I actually sat on that voting board. I'm not going to tell you how long ago. It made me feel too old. But to be honest with you, most of the money goes in Harris County and all those agencies. We're at Houston Galveston Area Council, but we're on the outliers. So I'm hoping out of two, we at least get one of these. This is a very reasonable request as far as money goes. There are systems out there that are $1 million+ that even for our size. And looking at this one, I think we have a reasonable chance of getting something this year. We didn't get it last year. We had asked for a little bigger system, and so in this process, we're trying to get something that's affordable for the future. A lot of these systems, you can get them up front. They pay you for a couple of years. It's the yearly. We're looking at $60,000, $70,000 a year for a cloud base at least, and this one's $30,000. So I think we can stomach that one.
I just want to make a comment. I really am proud of y'all for going after these grants and pursuing that. And having said that, Mayor Pro Tem, I make a motion that we approve Resolution R 2026-06 as presented.
I'll second that.
Councilman Koblenz move to approve Resolution R 2026-06 as presented, seconded by Councilman Wallace. Is there any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed? Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chief. Reports. Courtney.
The first is your quarterly, your citizen board and commissions report. Included in there is the activities of all the appointed boards and commissions. If you have any questions on those, I'll be happy to answer them. But it is just informational. The next report is your first quarter report from FY '26 that ended 12/31. That includes your investment report, your departmental report, your financial report, and your capital report. Again, these reports are just there for your information. And if you don't have questions tonight, feel free to contact us after the meeting or whenever, or you can ask them tonight regarding any of this information. And that final report is the budget calendar, which is just there for your information. Please note the important dates are in August and September. The most important date is the date of adoption and the record tax vote, which is taken, it looks like, August 10th. So those are the important dates. Please, if you can, plan your schedule around those, because without your presence at some of those meetings, it could give us some problems because the state of Texas requires supermajority on some of these. So again, just for your information, and we will work around your schedule if you have to be out of town.
Can you reiterate?
Kaylee, do you mind? I'm sorry. We're about to test my eyesight. August 10th is a very, very important date, and September 14th. Although, if necessary, we could absolutely push that September 14th back. I think that might give our finance director a little bit of heartburn, but we have had to push it back the last 2 years. So if we have to, we'll do it again.
So that's something that I was going to note is that it looks like you've got a budget workshop up there in June, which is good because I think we went through that this past year about
Yeah.
several discussions. So the earlier we start, the better. And
The
then we can
earlier
kinda
we start, the better, and
some
that
of
will
those
be a very
questions answered.
inclusive one. Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay, sounds good.
Blake, do you remember when our trip is in September?
It's not impacted.
Okay.
All right, that's it. That's all the reports we have. Yep.
The city council may go into executive session regarding any item posted on the agenda as authorized by Title V, Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code. Notice is hereby given that the city council may go into executive session in accordance with the following provision of the Government Code 551.071, consultation with attorney, 551.072, deliberation regarding real property, 551.073, deliberation about gifts and donations, 551.074, personnel matters, 551.076, deliberation about security devices or security audits, and 551.087, economic development. No final action will be taken in closed executive session. So at this time, at 6:23, we are going into closed executive session.
My staff, feel free to go ahead and go home after this. I mean, before we come out of closed session. Yep, positive. Just for your information. All right.
The time is 6:41. We're coming out of closed executive session, and we are taking no action. And this exhausts the agenda. We are adjourned.
Good job, Blake.
Wow.
Did good. Hey, I need to